I'm Sergio Benassi, the managing director of Aquabike International. This is my mother and father on the river of the Po, which is a tributary of a river that comes down from the mountains. And he developed his aquabikes as something different. And the whole town came out to see it. They couldn't believe that people could ride on water. And they were very impressive, but straight after the war, material was very hard to get. So when Venice had the leader of Venice was looking for crafts to hire out to people, Papa put this in, but apparently it's only very shallow. And so he went back to his trade, and which is coffin maker, which is not. But he learned how to bend timber. So he ended up with this beautiful pontoons, applying it to a paddleboard. Very clever. And he went to Venice with the paddleboards, with pontoon, and won his right to rent at the leader. I remember a little story, because I was only 4 or 5, that he left me there for a minute while he was doing some repairs or something. And a German tourist came up and wanted to rent one, and I couldn't. I said it'll be $1, and but he said, I don't have any change. I've got my costume on. And I said, no, you can't have one until you pay for it. And eventually, his girlfriend really wants to go there and then. And so he took off his watch, beautiful, expensive watch, and put it on the desk and said, you look after that. And he went for his half-an-hour ride and came back. And I was very nervous, but about the words. He wanted to apply to the leader of Venezia for to hire out the crafts, and they had a tender. And initially he was mad about the aquabike, so he went to see them with that, and they said that there's not enough water to you would have to go out 100 meters to get on. So Papa decided, fortunately, his background was to build coffins, a timber worker, and he learned to bend like a coffin, and ended up with these beautiful paddle boats with pontoons and very aerodynamic or water dynamics, and that could carry up to 4 people. The basic idea was the same as in Europe, but he one afternoon after we lost the tender or wasn't successful for the tender on Lake Burley, I just saw him with chicken wire and just cement, light cement, and he just kept on going around and doing this nice form. And I said, Papa, what are you doing? He said, you'll see next week. And he was lovely because that was the beginning of the front wheel, and then he made the back wheel the same, and went to Queanbeyan and got a fiberglass. He virtually was making the mould for the fiberglass wheels. And we started with that. We were making them in Queanbeyan with fiberglass. But unfortunately, the movement, they couldn't seal the edge. So the movement, so we had to eventually go to Sydney and get rotational moulding, which it's like an Easter egg. They allow the liquid plastic to flow, and they turn in certain ways, so the whole thing is one piece. There's no joints or crack. That was our biggest advantage. Most people try to copy it with fiberglass, and it just doesn't work. We have fortunately a natural respect for my father, because I know that he is so clever with things like this. We had such a good relationship that we always, if we had any problem, we just resolved it over a plate of pasta and a bottle of wine for lunch. And Papa was a very good cook, so there was good excuse to stop and have this. And if we couldn't, and then when we finished lunch, we used to go out to Lake Burley, Griffin, near Pialago, and actually test it on that water. So the lake has been a very useful lab for us because it gave us a very even level. After lunch, and when we concluded the discussion, we then went to test our thoughts on Lake Burley Griffin at Beltana, because it was such a beautiful surface for us to have, and I could just stand on the shore and look at if it was level, if it was not level, and if it was enough out of the water to give us good buoyancy for two people. So it was critical for us to have that. My father would love to be here because he's actually in that water, and to see the aqua bike on Lake Burley Griffith was one of his greatest pleasure. We used to have we had barbecues and everything around the lake, of course. But that brochure went all over the world, and the big launch for our export market, and we had the aqua bikes going all day, and it was showing off how versatile, how colourful they are, and it really made it a major exporter to 47 countries.